How was your solstice? How was your solstice? I have to get something to put my cup on because otherwise it makes this big clanging noise. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it's a clean sock. I've still got a runny nose, still got a bit of a cough, but I'm all right. I'm absolutely fine and dandy. Um, and and just hang on a second. Just saying that, I think I do need to get myself a tissue. So if you can just sort of bear with me for 2 seconds. I hope you're all fine and dandy, by the way. Lovely to see everyone. Oh dear. Yeah. So how did the solstice go? How did it go with everyone? Did you know? Did you how did it go for you? Basically, how did it go for you? Um, I'm just sorting out my screens as well, just so I can see any comments and stuff like that. Kevin, thank you for your donation on the live. I'm sorry about the live earlier on. Really do apologise because there was no reception and stuff like that, so it was a little bit difficult. But it was one of those days, really. It was one of those days, a little bit like that. Fraser, how you doing? Do you know what? I thought I saw you down at Avebury. Were you down at Avebury today, Fraser? Were you down at Avebury? I could have sworn I saw you down at Avebury, but um, yeah. What a day! What a day! Um, there's like, let me show you a video. Julie, hello. Spent day with my kids. It's the best time to do it, really. Solstice. It should be a family affair, really. You know, when excellent. I'm glad it went well today, Kevin. Man, that's really good to hear. I could have sworn I saw you down there. Happy solstice to you as well, Maria. How are you? It's lovely to see you. I haven't seen you on the live for quite a bit. I hope you're doing well. Really do. Was there in spirit. Okay, cool. That's what it would have been then. Because I was standing next to someone, I just kept looking at it. Really? Is it? Don't know. It's very funny. So yeah, happy solstice to everyone. Did everyone have a good solstice? Did you get a message? You know, there will be some people still possibly going through their solstices at the moment, but did you get a message? Did you get like I got a message from Energy. I didn't load up a video because the wind was blowing and the sound wasn't brilliant. So I didn't want to inflict that upon you. So, but I'd like to go into what the message is from Energy. And I tell you what, it was very funny because there was so many people there. The parkings were full, and people were just parking on the side of the road, all over the place. And I managed to find through my car park angel, managed to find a place in the parking, and I was walking from the parking. The parking's around about must be around about 400 meters from, not even that really, from the stone circle. So I was walking there with Cody, and as I was walking there, and I think I said it in the live, it just went like bing in the crown chakra, and it was just like kind of okay, that's got to be the time, that it was coming through. It was absolutely brilliant. Then I started dowsing and stuff like that, and sensing the line down there, and and I just happened to, I spoke to somebody in the car park about something because I'm always doing it and everything like that, talking to people because I love doing that. But, I happened to see them there and I said, oh yeah, do you know what time again was it supposed to go through and stuff like that? And they said, oh, it won't be till later on, till around about sort of 4 o'clock. And I was kind of, 4 o'clock, really? No, I think it's already, I felt it go through already. And actually they were talking about sunset. in the UK. So, and they're all gearing up to sunset, and I was kind of going, wow, man, it's already gone through, man. You know, it's like celebrating a goal like 15 minutes after it's gone in. It was like, it was quite mad, but it was really good energy, really good energy. And there was another thing that was going on as well, which was really interesting. On the okay, shall I go through the chakra sequencing? Because um, in the chakra sequencing, it started off with the crown and the root, okay, like it always does. It's that vertical energy that comes in. It's the staff before we can put the, the kundalini on it. And once we get the vertical energy in place, then you can put the kundalini in there, and that makes the crossing points, and you get the chakras and everything like that. So it started off with the crown and the root, but at exactly the same time, it had the sacrum and coming through it at exactly the same time, right at the beginning. And I don't get that usually. You know, it's very. I'm not even sure I've ever had it before, where a chakra has come in and played in with the vertical energy. And it was almost as if it was sort of saying to me, and this is the sort of message that came out of it. It's sort of like kind of going, and this was my revelation as well. I got this revelation for me that I don't need anything anymore. I don't need anything. There's a lot of things I want, and it's a strange sensation, because all the way through my life I've been working to a cosmic plan, you know what I mean, sort of thing. You know, I've been the diligent sort of servant of the big cheese, as it were, the big kahunas, as they say in America. They don't say that in America, do they? Because I now know what kahunas mean. So, but you know, and because I've been working to, as in servitude, I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this. I need to do that. And it dawned on me today. It's sort of like, you don't need to do it anymore. And I think it's because, and this is where the sacrum comes into play. It's almost as if like, because the sacrum is the needs, and you've got to put the needs in place in order to have your wants, which is your heart. And I don't know whether it was particular to me. I don't think it was, but it's like the vertical energy, which is our raison d'etre. It's our sort of like it's our vertical energy. It's why we're here. You know, it's tied into the sacrum, which is all to do with. It's almost as if it was saying to me, your needs are already in place. It's going to happen. The change is going to change, no matter what we, no matter what we think or decide. You know, it's going to happen now. And I no longer need to put things in place. I would like to help with everybody else sculpt what we have into something new. You know, being part of it, it's quite exciting. So that was the first bit of the chakra sequencing. So it went to the crown and the root. The crown and the root was really nice, because when I finish my story about walking from the car park? I didn't, did I? Anyway, it did ring my crown chakra like a massive gong. Yeah, I think I did finish the story, but anyway, it rang that, and I think it's like that. It's like a crowning consciousness that you can't deny. Once you know, you can't deny it anymore, and you can't. You're not going to cheat yourself. And once you know inside you that, yes, this is how it should be, this is how, my life should be. And as I said, when you know what you should do, it doesn't necessarily mean it's something fantastical. Because I think that's more smokescreen, and it's a bit like the Wizard of Oz. Do you know what I mean? Once you pull back the curtain, you kind of go, well, I just need to press that button there and stop speaking down that microphone like that, would you? To the wizard. And it's like, it is a revelation. It's a revelation through our tribulations as well. It's like all tribulations. It's like the end of time in a way. Oh no, I'll get onto this and another thing as well. It's like the end of time, as if like to sort of kind of like we're now totting up the scores. It's been fun, the whole thing's been absolutely brilliant. So the next thing that came in was the third eye and the throat chakra, and it was weird. It was like there was no thinking whatsoever. Now, sometimes, when we overthink things all the time, if you overthink things all the time, what you're doing is you're actually taking away the power of your intuition. Because you're not allowing your third eye to do what it's got to do. And because you're preoccupying it with thought and everything like that. So that's why you do the tea meditation in the morning, to try and avoid that overthinking sort of scenario. And you can allow your chakras to sort of like do things for you without you even realizing that they're doing it, and that's how like we get surprised by, oh, that was a coincidence. And once you start knowing, you realize it's not a coincidence and everything like that. Anyway, yeah, so it was like the third eye and the throat chakra. There was no thought to be made. It was realizing that we have a blank page in front of us, but even within that blank page, if you imagine in that blank page, you can put anything in it. Agreed. But it's going to be sort of crafted by your experiences, your ideas, and everything like that. And all our experiences and our ideas are out there in the world, and it's just taking things from the world and putting in on that blank page what we want to, what we want in our world. A whole new creation episode where, rather than having to overthink things, because you've got your needs, this is what it feels like, that the needs will be satisfied, and it's just a question of kind of what are you going to do with it? What do you want to do with it? And then had the solar plexus come in, and the solar plexus was so at ease. It was like, a big friendly giant in a way. That's what it felt like. Really, really supportive thing. It's not pushing you too hard. It's not asking you to be courageous. It's just asking you to be. That's what it felt like. Just asking you to be, which was absolutely amazing. And then we had the heart chakra. Now the heart, it was as if like, because the heart chakra is now not being pushed by the needs, it's almost as if the heart is taking time to actually really taste life and kind of going, and really being precise about what, not precise, that's not the right word, really being open to the experience of what makes you happy, in life. And it seems to be playing into that. Now we get onto the time shift. And then, as it was going back to the central point, at the same time as the central point, which is right behind your sternum, that's where your energy is connected to the universe. It's like the universe comes up like a rod, as it were, that we are sat upon, a bit like a weeble. And then that creates the vertical energy on us, a bit like a bumper car sort of thing, a bit inverse. And so it's sat on that. But at that point there, I had the solar plexus that started going. Well, it was in the position of the solar plexus, right? This is the weird thing. It was in the solar plexus position, and the heart was going as well. And the solar plexus felt like the heart, and the heart felt like the solar plexus. And it was like pole shift is, pole shift can take a long time. It can take up thousands of years to do a pole shift, right? As much as it can take 3 or 4 years. And it depends on where we are in the vibration of the universe or the galaxy of going through the planes. Because if you imagine the energy comes out and it crosses, it goes like a wave, so it crosses over like the kundalini that goes up you. So you've got some crossing points in the universe like we have in our solar system. And that's what keeps the planets in space, in place. And so if you go through a point that's not a crossing point, that's actually quite wide between the southern part of the universe and the upper part and the northern part of the universe, it's going to take some time to do the pole shift. We're going through a crossing point, I can tell you that now. It's going to be going quite quickly. But there's this, it's like an inverse pendulum that's like, we've now gone past the tipping point and we're really going on. You know, it's, I can't, I haven't seen any comments. Am I talking too much? Am I boring you? I don't know. I can't see how many people are watching. I don't know. Is it? Do you understand? How was, so for me, and the message that came out of this is the time is right. And it's like it's stepping into a whole new landscape. You recognize it, but you don't know it. And you want to learn about it. And once you start exploring, you're going to know a lot of things about how things work. So it's you don't need to learn anymore. You don't need to do this. You just need to be. Just listening. Right, yeah. Hi, Coral. How you doing? Yeah, I didn't know whether it had broken down. Okay, so yeah, right. Okay, so yeah, sorry, I do apologise. So yeah, it was an amazing energy, and the energy was so. When I was looking at it, when I was looking at the morphic field, so I can see this sort of like coloured mist in a way that goes around everything. That's that morphic field, and then within that morphic field, it's like someone walking through the mist. They've got that, as they walk through the mist, there's this gap between them and the mist, as it were, and then that's where you get the aura and stuff like that, and how it all sort of connects. And I can see this sort of like plume as it's going through. Yeah, very calm, wasn't it, Kevin? Totally. Yeah. Cat Perry, man. Yeah, it's right on message. Okay. Yeah, no, totally. And it was like there was turquoise, which was all to do, it's all to do with communication and sort of like, and third eye and that sort of area there, really. And there was a lot of like, it's like energy's going to be, let's say we've all just passed our degrees. We've all got degrees. Pick the one you want, don't care. We're just giving them away at the moment. Degree here, you can have a degree. Everybody's got a degree, right? And so you're going to go to work, and then you get someone, when you go to that new company, you get someone who shows you around for the day and everything like that. And it's like energy's doing that at the moment. It's showing us around as if to sort of say, oh, and look, over here is, this is how we can manifest sort of levitation and, and that sort of thing. There's a lot of things that I think we're going to understand because we're being shown, because we don't need to know. We just know now, and it's seeing it in action. So yeah, it is incredibly calm, very calm today. And it was windy where I was, and it was raining, and it was pretty cold, but the energies itself was very, very calm. And Cody was just sat the whole time just next to me, and it as if he was in meditation as well. It's like we were doing a meditation together. It was really quite funny. And at some point the energy said, now start walking forward and doing. And at that point there, Cody sort of turned his head around and I just knocked it on my knee as if to sort of say, are you listening? Let's go. He wanted to go off. So it was like, but it's incredibly calm, yeah. Incredibly calm. And, yeah, great day. a great day. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Is that meant to be Namaste? Or was it Namaskar? Celestial Awakening. How you doing? Welcome. Um, I'm trying to follow everything. Yes, it's been an interesting and a very different week. It's been, I think, over the last sort of 2, 3 weeks, to be honest. It's like building up to that sort of, you're going to a wedding and you're gradually, getting excited about it. Christmas is here. That's possibly what it is, So, yeah, it just seems like it's more of a case of knowing or, knowing than needing. It's all right. Therefore, what are you going to do with it? What do you want to do with it? Energy is willing now to sort of, if you take the time, don't try and do things quickly. Take the time to listen to energy, and we don't just listen with our ears. We listen with our eyes. We listen with our eye. We listen with our body. We listen with our emotions. You've got to listen to the whole spherical message, and it will become, child's play. Really will become child's play, I think. Absolutely amazing. Really good energies that are coming through. And it was particular to the crown chakra. I tell you another thing that was saying to me as well. The other thing it was saying to me as well is, it kept saying, coming of age. I don't know whether it was talking to me, or generally. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, I think it's like that, the handover from Pisces to Aquarius has been done. I think it's been done now. We are now fully, I think personally, we're fully into the age of Aquarius. And that's why energy's coming in line with us, because now we can create. And that's going to be the most amazing thing. Once we realize that we can actually use energy, but the thing is, you don't use it. That's a really bad terminology, because you don't take energy and then use it to do something, right? It's like, as kids, right? You used to stick your head out the window of the car, way before we had seatbelts. You stick your head out of the car, and then obviously you open your mouth, and it'd be difficult to breathe because it's going so fast, the air. But also you do that with your hand and playing, in the wind. That's how you do it. That's what, that's what using energy in order to manifest things. And once you realize you don't have to actually take anything, you don't have to actually channel anything, you just need to ride it in a way and allow it to flow through you. Once you can start doing that, it's going to be phenomenal. And as I say, it doesn't have to be sensational, whatever we're doing. It's starting, it's doing what is evident for us, or for each single one of us in our daily lives, you know what I mean, in living life. Because it does get very lifey, as we all know. Because humans have done that over the centuries of just, you know what I mean? It's like, at some point, they must have done every single law. Surely they can't be more deliberating over laws. This is where the common sense may come back into play, But they, the more the laws they can put in place, kind of eventually we just forget about living life because we're so concentrated on sort of kind of like, it's like doing right by the human system. And maybe the system, the human system's just got too much self-importance. That's possibly it, where we're now reconnecting to a nature and a natural system, that's got all the bases covered. Really, we don't really need to add on a great deal. We don't need to muddy the water. We don't need to dilute the message. I think it's bringing it back to that message fully, which will be really, really good. Of living in alignment with everything, and you know, yoga's great, but at the same time, if you're an Eskimo going out on a fishing trip, it may be a little bit difficult to do yoga, to be honest. You know what I mean? Or an Inuit. I don't know what, you know, how we would define someone who lives up in the North Pole, but um, you know, it's like asking, you know, to grow salads as well up there. It's just not possible. You know what I mean? So people eat what they can eat in the place that they're in. You know what I mean? And it's fair play. That's what life's all about. It's all part and parcel of that life cycle. You know, and so you know, it's rather than looking at what's going on, just concentrate on what we're doing. If you know what I mean. So you don't have to look outwards. You don't have to look inwards. You just have to be. Which is really easy if you are a bee just making honey. That'd be really nice. So did anyone else get any, did you get any sort of like, you know, sort of revealing messages and stuff like that? Did you get, you know, did anyone else, did anyone go anywhere in particular for the solstice? You know, where was everybody? Because, you know, it happens across the globe, and the energy now in the northern hemisphere has doubled in size on the energy lines, which is really good. And in the southern hemisphere, it's up to its maximum in the summer solstice. So it's got, you know, in the southern hemisphere, the energy lines will be really singing at the moment, in a really good way. And the other thing, you know, the other thing is as well is that I said that the sun would probably do a few sort of X flares between the 10th and the 20th, and it's sort of I said mainly between the 15th and the 20th. To be honest, I was more focused on that, but it turns out to be more towards the 10th, and it's been pretty calm since then. And there was a little bit of a spike today. I don't know whether, I haven't checked it out too much. I don't know whether it's coming in our direction or stuff like that. But I don't think it's that much of a problem. It's because it's only a very, very minor thing. But generally, the energies have been dropping out. It's as we get to the final point of the solstice, it was as if like energy was gradually stripping things away from us. As we gradually get to the moment of truth. And yeah, and it's in the sun itself, you can see on the graph, you know, the energy or the X-ray flux. If you go and look at the X-ray flux, you can see the bottom line because you've got the red line, which is the northern hemisphere, and the blue line, which is the southern hemisphere, equivalent of. Different frequencies, and the blue line just kept dropping out and just falling on the floor. And you know, people may have felt that, and it was definitely within the energy where you can get waves, and every time a wave came through, it just stripped another layer off. And it's almost like going through a baptism in a way, you know, John, going through a baptism, you know, and washing everything away. And kind of like, you know, you're ready and you're new to engage in the world in a very honest fashion. Because now, when you need something, you know, you got to really try it, and you know, you got to grab it. And I understand it. It's not a problem with that at all. But when you don't need something, all of a sudden, there's a certain degree of competition that's taken away, if you know what I mean. And I think this is what it's going to make the human species, wherever you are in the world. I think a lot of people are going to just kind of go, do you know what? Just chill. You know, all this fighting malarkey that we keep shooting each other and everything like that. Well, let's just chill. You know. And it's like, do you know all about this sort of like financial war that we do on one another, or this, you know, social war that we do on one another? It's don't worry about it. It's come to an end. You know, Vita, how you doing? Welcome. How was your solstice? So it just feels like that it's the there's a lot of pressure been taken off, and the pressure gets taken off a lot more when we just sort of step into it. You rested at home, relished in the blend of beautiful energies, nice, refreshing, relaxing, yet excitement. Excellent. Yeah, it's I didn't need to go to um, Avebury. I wanted to go to Avebury. I didn't need to go to Avebury. I've been there so many times. I had some friends of mine who went to Stonehenge this morning, and I spoke to them very early this morning, just before they set off. And I didn't need or want to go to Stonehenge this morning. I went past Stonehenge, obviously, on the way to Avebury, and I said hello, but I didn't need to be there, so I didn't go. So, and I took the afternoon shift at Avebury. But yeah, I think it was that. It was very relaxed, just chillaxing at home with with the energies, which is fine, which is fantastic. You know, it was it felt like a day of relaxing. There is no doubt about it. So this could well be the dawning of a new day. It really is a dawning of a new day, and I almost want to say everything is possible. Should we pull a card on that? Let's just see what that's all. I don't know why. Just want to pull a card. It's late. It's Sunday night. Everything is possible. Six of Pentacles. Putting ourselves first. This is what it's all about, and it's not the detriment to anybody else. It's putting ourselves first, and that would be that king that I met the other day, the other week. Pure judgment and clear vision of a future. When we step into our lives, when you step into it, you activate it. That's what you do. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be quite literally just a message that you send to someone out of a very neutral place. And, and all of a sudden that opens the door to so many different possibilities. And it just seems that energy is ready to explain it to us as well as we go forward. But until you start going forward in your life, regardless of what it is, regardless, there's no life that's better than another. I can tell you that now. There's nothing to win out of life, because physically there's nothing to actually win. Everything we have, we will be leaving, including your body. So there's nothing to win in life. And if there's nothing to win, that means there's nothing to lose either. And I think that's going to become so important going forward. Obviously, you don't do something stupid, which is can do, obviously, but if you are going to sort of like jump out of a plane, make sure you got a parachute. It's that sort of thing, So, Vita, what are you saying? Curiously, I've had a slight headache all afternoon and wondered if I had something to do with the Solstice 3AI. No, do you know what? 3i Atlas. Oh, gee whiz, yeah, sorry, man. Let me tell you about 3i Atlas, right? First things first, at the moment, it is further from the Earth than the Earth is from the Sun. Right? Put that into perspective, right? Now you have the Sun, which is a huge magnet, right? Massive magnet. And you've got this piece of dust that's flying, because it is equivalent of a piece of dust flying past, way out from us. If you think it's actually directly affecting your energies, you know nothing about physics. You know nothing about how the sun works. If you're saying that, it is just one pure. It's not how it happens. What it does do, though, it will affect the solar system in a certain degree. And then with the effect of the vibration of that solar system, it will then get fed into the earth, and then the earth will be slightly affected, not majorly, but slightly affected, and then it flows into you and I and everything like that. So no, I don't think it's 3i Atlas. I will tell you, Vita, a lot of people have been getting headaches at the moment, and it's all to do with that energy dropping out. You know, so yeah, I've seen a lot of that. Wish I could have relaxed, lifting, moved into a new house with extreme heat. Is that not good to be in the new house though, Cornwall? This is fantastic. The whole situation has now been turned on its head since we spoke. I don't know, what was it, about a month ago or something like that about it. It's brilliant. So I can understand that it's to do with the energies, the headaches, and it's almost I think it's helping us to realise something, the headache sort of thing. I think it's stopping us from overthinking something, Vita. You know, maybe you've got to be a little bit more gentle with yourself, a little less stringent, you know. You know, felt a lot of heat in my body as well. Okay, so that's all to do, you know, to do with your circulation, and why is your circulation increasing, and etc. So to help with your circulation, it's good to be barefoot in grass and so forth. That's really good, handy for you, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's it could be the circulation of the energies, and kind of going, yes, I love it, Tom. Yes, just unpacked. It's not so much fun. Yeah, you know what I mean? We've all got a box somewhere in the loft that we haven't packed from that move that we did 15 years ago, you know what I mean? So yeah, unpacking is quite mad, you know. Yeah, all the best in your new place though. At least you're out of that environment. That's the main thing. And that's what's going to do some massive changes for you. Indigo, sorry, I did see you. I did see your thing earlier on. I didn't actually sort of say anything. I didn't. I was coming back to it. The energies today have felt refreshing, feeling positive momentum as we go forward. Totally, I get that. A lot of people get that, and there's a lot of dominoes that have been knocked down and out the way. You know. I can see clearly now. The rain has gone. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be. I think it's. You got to be. Yes, totally cool. I'm so chuffed for you. I'm so chuffed for you. That's really good. That's really good. I'm so chuffed for you. I was barefoot in the grass an hour ago. Good. How's the heat been since then, Vita? Has it calmed down a bit for you? You know, it's always good for you. We only have 24 hours in a day. There's a certain overthinking going on, I think, Vita. There's a certain situation that I think it's probably a lot simpler than you know, simpler than you think. Yeah, you tell me. But anyway, so unpacked. That's really good. Yeah. So all in. Yeah. No. It's. This is it. It's a new day. It's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. And it does feel a little bit like that, really, doesn't it? Yes. Calm down now. Good. And this is it. You know, this is what energy is trying to explain, that there is a solution to every sort of situation. When I was saying the other day about when you get supercharged on a certain chakra, that you can take that overflow of energy and start putting it into something else, and then something else will then start happening in your life because you're changing your energy. You know, it's recognizing when you get that excess going on, so then you can, you know, if you've got too much going on, you feel your third eye really going for it. If there's no productivity coming out of it, you take that excess out and you can put it into your solar plexus, which then all of a sudden gives you the courage to start doing the things that you thought about and that you'd want to do. Love it. Excellent, Indigo. Duh. Yes, I'm loving it as well, to be honest. I've gone from feeling slightly anxious about 2006, to feeling the excitement for the opportunities for growth. And so you should do. Seriously, I'm very optimistic about 2026. I think it's going to be a strange one in the sense that it's like the system is going to seriously start glitching, and people are going to start glitching. And if you're not glitching because you understood, you're going to be standing there kind of going, oh, wow, this is strange. If you imagine like the system is glitching, that means it's not progressing on, it's just going, sort of thing, yeah? As it's doing that, you're progressing. So by the time it comes out the glitch, all of a sudden they turn around and they see you, that you've actually teleported yourself into your future, if you understand what I mean. So that's going to freak the glitches out, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you to just kind of go to where you should be going. I feel it's very positive. It's going to be very strange. You know, a big hug to you too, Coral. Yeah, big hug. I'm so chuffed for you. You know what I mean? Because you didn't want that at all. We may see external mayhem along the way. That sounds. Is that not a line? Something. It sounds like a line from a song. That. Yeah, you will do. But the thing is, if you're not part of it, it won't touch you. If you don't get triggered, you'll find you'll get triggered by a lot less in the future. You won't get triggered by things. And, you know, if it doesn't trigger you, it ain't going to affect you. And, you know, it's gonna change a lot of things about what a lot of people do. I've just got my passport through. I'm looking forward to travelling. Yeah, Julie, do it. Do it. You know, there's some great places in the world to visit. I feel like I'm not going to go into me. Don't worry about that. But yeah, no, you know, yeah, visit, enjoy, explore. There's a lot of things to experience in life. You know, I sent a text to the buyer. Oh right, yeah, you had that thing with the buyer, but I understand things have changed. And invited him to please set a closing date, and there's no response as yet. Okay. You should have closed off with, if you wished we could have a cup of tea and talk about it. Yeah. And maybe you should say that. And that may sort of like kind of going, oh, okay. At worst, you know, they may kind of go, oh, I might be able to sort of like, you know, con a little bit more, but they won't be able to. You'll just give them enough rope, as it were. You know, they'll tie themselves up in knots. You know, but you know, it's possible. I think you could really get things moving on if you can do that. That block will move out the way that we looked at last week. Was it last week or the week before? I can't remember. I think you're starting to see through that block. That's the beauty of it. And once you see through it, it won't actually mean anything anymore. We're thousands of miles apart. Oh dear. Okay. Well, you know, do it over the internet. Grab yourself a cup of tea and have a chat. Yeah. Yeah. I've been signing. What was that? Disturbs. I've been signing Disturbs, the land of confusion, this week. That sounds. Am I completely reading it wrongly? It's very possible. You know, I think there's a lot of distractions and confusion. So really important to stay grounded and out of the drama. Totally. Out of the drama. You know what I mean? It is distraction, that drama. You can, you know, you go down London, seriously, you go down Camden Town. You know, I grew up in Camden Town. There's, you know, you see a lot of weird stuff going on down there. It's brilliant. It's like going down the cinema every time you go down there. But when I go down there now, and Singing, oops, okay. Um, um, I go down there now, and some of the things you see, you just kind of go, I've seen it all. It doesn't affect me anymore, and it doesn't, do anything. And I think that's what the whole sort of like confusion thing as well. I just, it's. I think the system is going to try and create confusion, and people are just going to kind of go, no, I'm not playing it anymore. Not being part of it. Sorry. you know. So do you remember do you remember that thing after 2008 where people were doing like the 1% and stuff like that, and they were protesting, and it turns out that the protesting thing were really financed by massive merchant bankers, and I quite literally mean that in the London sense. Um, and it's just like you know one team is just playing both sides, as it were. And I think this is what we're getting past, getting around and not just buying it anymore. You know, just not because I think we're starting to feel, and I mean feel, and I don't mean emotions. It's like when you sort of like when you get that gut feeling and you trust your gut. It's we're going to feel that all the time, and we're going to be able to assess things a lot easier in the future when it's presented to us as a collective. This coming year in 2026, there's going to be moments where we're going to kind of go, "Sorry, man, don't feel that at all." And I just think they're going to get the wrong end of the stick so many times that eventually it'll be just kind of going, "Do you know what? You're more of a distraction than you are actually a help." More of a hindrance than you are of a help, sort of thing. You know, Parry, I saw your message earlier on. I haven't caught up on the comments. I've been a bit. I think I'm blaming it on the flu, really, or the cold. Today was a great day for the honouring of our existence, with the nurturing and learning to live together harmoniously in peace, with love for life, unfolding moment by moment with kindness and care. Parry. Do you know? I think you could read it onto you could read you could read it onto a really good sort of like set of music behind it. You should do that, Parry. You know, find someone who's local to you that could give you a hand doing it. You could do some really good songs, but without them being songs in a way, if you know what I mean. It's like poetry. Parry. That's what you got to do. You need to stick around for quite a while and do that, please. It would be lovely. You know, absolutely. I'd showcase them for you. I'm sure Scott would showcase you as well on his show as well. It'd be worthwhile, Parry. It'd be, be a laugh, wouldn't it? And I think you'll bring a lot of joy to everybody. You know. So love and gratitude for reaching of us equally with the respect and compassion. Absolutely beautiful, Parry. Yeah, lovely to see you and stuff like that. I seriously think you should put. I might do a song with all of your comments. That's what I might do. I have to pick up my guitar though, and my piano, my Joanna, as they say in London. Yeah, why not, eh? Exactly. Daily motivational tips and looks. Yeah. Why would don't just say love to do it. Do it, Parry, man. It'd be brilliant. It'd be great. It would be fantastic. And I'm sure there'd be a lot of people that'd be willing to give you a hand if you need a hand, doing all of those sort of things, you know, because it ain't easy. I sort of limp my way through it because it's not always, I don't know everything that's going on with a lot of things of this, but well, yeah, do it, Parry. It'd be lovely to hear it, lovely to hear it. Did anyone get any sort of like messages as well from energy? Is there any sort of revelation or tribulations? That's the word that's really been constantly on my lips over the last sort of like few days actually, and it's like the tribulations are going to be trivial when we go into the future. That's not the hard part. The hard part is enacting how those tribulations, the judgment of those tribulations. Don't forget to put in the old chicken in your song. Old chicken? What's the old chicken? Is that something what's that all about, Coral? What are you on about, an old chicken? Are you calling me an old chicken? Or are you calling someone an old chicken? Yeah. I don't know what old chicken's all about. But yeah, I think that's what we're going into. We've gone through all of that, and we're qualified, and now universe is going to ask us to start doing something. You spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. Did I? Chicken in the song, was it? I have to try and remember that. I probably did. The sort of thing I'd say, you know what I mean? Okay. It's the sort of thing I'd definitely say, But yeah, I'm an old chook in a way, older than you. Yeah, yeah. It's like chook. That's an Australian phrase, isn't it? For a chicken, isn't it? A chook. I think that comes from Liverpool, originally. Yeah. This is it. Maybe you don't want me reading them out, Parry. I'll tell you. We all are in this together with our own individual hearts' frequencies that are important for our evolutionary reimagination of our species in love and kindness. Yeah, that's totally it, Parry. Excellent. Scorpios never forget, they don't, do they? Blimey. Woo-hoo. I've grown up with a lot of Scorpios around me in my life. They've held my feet to the coals because they don't forget. And fair play. I'm a Capricorn. I don't forget either, but I don't tend to sort of like, I don't know. Capricorns are slightly different, to to that sort of thing. They're strange ones, Capricorns. They really are. Strange ones. And we're just going into Capricorn season, so happy birthday to all you Capricorns out there. It's going to be great. I'll tell you what the other thing is, I don't know what you're feeling, but it just doesn't seem like Christmas. It just doesn't seem like Christmas. And actually, to be honest, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's I think it's an honest thing. I almost feel like, it seems like the solstice seemed to be more important today than Christmas is. Nothing against, our man who can. Quite certain bad habits have come up for me today. Oh, right, okay. Not in a daunting way, just as a realization what's best for me to let go of, that will in turn be positive for everyone around me. This is tribulations, and you know, it doesn't have to be difficult, but it's a tribulation for ourselves. And that's that whole sort of thing of kind of sort of saying, do you know what? Funny enough, I have had one as well. Very similar sort of thing, like a bad habit that needs to be addressed. You know, so yeah, I get that. I totally get that, Indigo. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, you're an old Scorpio as well, are you, Parry? Woman who is always willing to help out with generosity of heart and mind, with a simple and caring appreciation for each precious moment with civility. It comes totally. That's what I get off you as well, Parry. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It hasn't felt like Christmas for many years. Oh right, okay. Too commercial. Yeah, yeah, but even yeah, you know, even the commercial thing, it can be nice. It can be Christmassy, but it just doesn't feel like it this year more than any other years. You know, and you know, I when I was a young man, I used to make all my presents for everybody. It was like, and I say young man, not a boy. You know, and half the time it was because I wasn't very flush. You know, but I used to love making presents, and you know, and I think that's what you should do as well. We should have to make presents for each other for Christmas. You know, obviously not. You know, maybe not for the kids, but um, you know, I think that could be a really good thing. I like on like you know, like the Hobbits. When it's your birthday, you buy a present for everybody else. You know, and I think that's really good because then you only have to remember your own birthday. You know, said exactly the same. Said exactly the same. Solstice, a new start. Christmas on the back burner. Yeah, it's like you know, no offense to Christmas and everything like that. You know, no offense to any of that sort of like all the history that goes into it, because there's a lot more history than just the church, as it were. But um, you know, it's a mixed match. It's like the whole idea of a Christmas tree that's a real Celtic thing about welcoming. You know, the longer days are here, so you're bringing in the greenness into the house in order to provoke spring to be coming forth and so forth. It's not as if like you know out in Israel, out in Jerusalem, there was a load of. Well, he wasn't born in Jerusalem, was he? Let's be honest. Yeah, I mean, JC was not born in Jerusalem, and he wasn't born the 25th. But anyway, that's a whole story for another day. Could really go into that. I should do that. That'd be really funny to do the live on Christmas Day and just give you the full story of the Jesus story, you know, or the Jesus history. You know, because I think that's also really important for you know the truth to be told, really. And I think JC would be well up for that as well. I agree wholeheartedly that I don't have the same feelings for commercial gifts and and other types of things that are not passed on simple love and care that is centered in love and harmony with everyone. That's cool, man. Yeah, that'd be mint. That'd be mint. I'll do a bit of tarragon. Yeah, no, it would be mint. Yeah, no, we'll have to do that at some point. It's a long story though. It'll take a long time because you got to understand of what happened before how JC came about as well. You know, I think that's really important and why and how he came about and what the situation was according to, um, you know, his incarnation. And, also who is JC? You know what I mean? Who is Jesus? You know what I mean? He's and how is he connected to other spirits and stuff like that? I think that's really important to understand as well and know. And yeah, be really good, but it would take a long time though. I'll be willing to do it. It'd be a laugh, wouldn't it? It'd be really enjoyable. You'd have to get a whole stock of tea, you know. Well, you'd have to have an urn. They call them an urn, don't they? You go up and get an urn of tea going. Stick the fire on for those of you in the northern hemisphere. I wouldn't stick the fire on, obviously, if you were down in, in Australia. But we'll have to do that one day. I'm not going to do it now because it's starting. Time is moving on. It's been a long day, to be honest. But welcome to the after, as it were. M. Jones, Samoa. Don't know what that means, my friend. What does that mean? Is it Michael Jones? What's Samoa? Samonva. That obviously doesn't sound like English. What is it? Do you know what? I don't feel ill anymore. I've just got this cough and a bit of a nose going on. I don't actually feel. Hey, little wave. How you doing? Oh, lovely to see you. No, it's Russian. The big Russian tea urn. Oh, right, is that what it is? Wow, I like that. Samoa. Am I saying it correctly when I say Samoa? Samoa. Is that Samoa? Is that the right way of saying it? I'd like to know. I like the idea of a lovely Russian tea urn. It'd be absolutely brilliant. Hi, I can't hear you very well. I turned the volume up. Okay, you can't hear me. Is my volume really down? Is that what? Is my volume really down? Shall I turn it up a bit? You'll be hearing me almost sniffling. Is that a bit better? You tell me if it's a bit louder for everybody. Yeah. I as I was saying to Frisia, I actually don't feel ill. I've just got a cough. And it's an annoying cough more than anything else. But I don't actually feel ill, And yeah, thank you for the birthday wishes, Frisia. It is my birthday on the 23rd. So I was born when the sun's the lowest in the sky. The sun dies on Solstice day. So today the sun died. And the sun will be dead for 3 days. And then on the 25th, it gets reborn. I wonder where that story comes from. Would you harbour a stranger? Would I harbour a stranger? We all have to take care of the many people who are seeking help in their lives. Care about the lives of others in the world with compassion and respect. Yeah, I've always said, Parry, and I will always say, help people out. Help people to make a success of where they are in life, in the world. If you can, it's like, it's like in China during the 70s and 80s, all of a sudden we had, China was creating lots and lots of different factories and everything like that. And that helped China to progress in multitudes of ways. And where there's difficulties in certain countries, it's moral responsibility to invest in those countries in order for people to have a decent life, and that's what they should be doing, So, I shouldn't have said the 24th, third, that sparked off a bit, didn't it? Oh, actually, you can hear me a lot better now, can you? Yeah, way better. Okay. Okay, so it was a bit cold, a bit quiet then. Um, yeah, thank you for saying little wave. You know, um, Tom, yes, you did, Joe. I haven't replied to that email. Amazing, amazing. I will. I thank you very much. You, and I was because you said if someone tells you you're never an oil painting, because I read it and I've seen it, it's fantastic. And now you are one. And what was I going to say? Something like I forgot what I was going to say. I'll say it. I'll remember it when I'm writing the email to you. I will reply to you, thanking you very much for that painting. Is absolutely adorable, absolutely adorable. Yeah, um, uh, excellent. I'm glad you really enjoy it. I did a painting of you when you were not ill. Good. That's probably is. I oh right, I got it on the email. I got it on the email, so I'll have to have a look into that. I take care every day, Parry. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. You know, don't worry about me. We walk arm in arm, worrying about others. All right, you know. I thought you were just going for what was? Hang on a second. Um, your videos are often quiet. Are they really? That's loads better. Okay, okay. Well, I'll have to increase the volume of it. You know, I think I've got to get a better microphone. But anyway, um, you know, it's a pleasure, Jonas. I will reply to the email and stuff like that. Um, basic principles of creating a sanctuary for all of us equally, with a variety of ways. Yeah, public bathrooms and the stability and the ability to have shelter and safety. Exactly. You know, I work on the principle that if your neighbour is in, up a certain creek without a certain paddle, they're obviously gonna have to do stuff which is demoralising to them in order to make ends meet. So my it's not within my advantage to see them in a bad way. You know, that it's better to help them out. You know, so they're not in need and stuff like that. And I think that's what the common sense revolution is all about. It's principally about that. It's the fact that you don't need a Ferrari to have, this beautiful experience which we call life. Um, we can, you know, this is what I mean about there's no more needs. There's a lot of wants, but there's no more needs. And if you want a Ferrari, well then, it's like, yeah, I'm not sure whether that's a good idea. And this is where I think energy will not allow it to happen in a way. But yeah, so true, Parry. This is it. It's got to make it. I used to run my business on the basis that, in theory, everybody should know the prices. So I used to buy organic produce and transport it across to the UK and then sell it to wholesalers who used to then distribute it to fruit and veg shops, restaurants, and that sort of thing. And I like to go to my client and say, look, this is how much it's going to cost you, this product. This is how much it's costing to transport it, and this is how much the driver, the farmers are taking, and this is how much I'm taking. And it's got to work for everybody in that process, because otherwise it doesn't work anymore. And that's what I think the basic principle should be. The basic principle is that this place has got to work for everybody. And that used to be one of the fundamental rules in the economy. And they took that out in the 1970s, I think, that rule. which is ludicrous, you know. Shawnee Grows. Am I pronouncing that right? Hello, everybody. Happy solstice to you. I don't think have you come. Have you been on here before? You might well have done. I do apologise if that sentence. You know, yeah. Happy solstice to you, Sean. Sean's Grows. I think that's what. You tell me if I'm. Yeah. We need transparency. This is. Well, it's not transparency. We need to be able to trust one another. If you need to trust another, you know, you know, I think when when we do transparency, it's because like something dodgy's going on. Why should I have to prove? It's like we've got to start trusting one another. But in order to trust each other, we've got to adhere to those sort of principles. Yeah, but I do totally agree, Kevin. You know, a lot more transparency would be, but being honest. You don't need the transparency when you're honest. That's the thing. I love my 17-year-old car. Good, and so you should do. Gets me everywhere. Excellent. I need and I can't tell the shape of it when I'm driving. Okay. You know, I need and I can't tell the shape of it when I'm driving. Right, fair enough. Yeah, cars are lovely. Shawnee Grows. Okay. Shawnee Grows. Thanking you very much for verifying that. Grows would be how to say it. Okay, great. I grow a garden, and excellent. I've been here only one other time. Well, welcome back. Lovely to see you. What sort of garden do you grow? You know, what sort of stuff do you grow? I used to love. I used to have in my healing centre. I used to have I used to love it. Loads of stuff. I want to get back to that as well. I don't need to get back to that, but I would like to. Yeah. Night, everyone. You're off. Have a lovely Christmas and much love. Yeah, much love to you as well, Julie. You know, hi, Sean. Happy solstice. Yeah, so. Yeah. Lovely greeting from Parry to there, Shawnee Groves. Yeah. Are you in the UK? Are you in Ireland? Sounds like you're in Ireland. Yeah. Happy solstice to you, Julie. And what have you? Sounds like it sounds like you're in Ireland. Are you Irish? But have you got a lovely garden? You know, yeah, it's always good to grow. Love growing. And the thing is, you can do it all year round. It's so fantastic. Right, I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna sort of like, with Shawnee Groves and her beautiful garden. I think I'm going to say Sarah Nielsen and good night and stuff like that. I've just clocked the time. That's what it is. Problem is that once we start, we could be on there for days. It'd be absolutely brilliant. But you know, I'm going to have to sort of like say ciao because it's getting a bit late here. Yeah. So welcome to the new way of doing things, the common sense revolution. It's the common sense way of being. I think I'm going to stop calling it the revolution because we've gone through it. I think I'm just going to sort of say, welcome to the common sense reality, or the common sense way of being. Yeah, I think that's a lot of it. Love to everybody out there. Kevin, you're an absolute star, man. Don't ever do it if you can't, man. If you know, you're in Minnesota. I have a rain garden. A rain garden? Oh, what's that? 2 food forest areas and a mix of perennials, wildflowers, 2 annual garden spaces. Excellent. Wow. Wow, sounds really good. Sounds absolutely lovely. I like the idea of a rain garden. That sounds really beautiful. Kevin, thanking you very much, my friend. You know, much blessings to you and everything like that. Vita, lovely to see you. I'll see you soon. Indigo, thanking you very much for being here as well. Absolute pleasure. Yes, Frasier, lovely to see you. Parry. M. Jonas, lovely to see you as well. Thanking you for everything. Shawnee's Grows, lovely. Coral, beautiful to see you as well. Indigo, Little Wave, everybody. Thanking you so much for being here. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody, you know, that came on tonight. I think I covered everybody. Absolutely brilliant. It's been a great solstice. I'm so glad. Oh, there was also Celestial Awakening. Thank you, Celestial Awakening, for being here as well. And Cat Perryman, lovely to see you as well. You know, if I've missed anyone, have I missed anyone? I don't think I have. I think I've covered everybody now. Oh no, there's Maria as well. Lovely to see you again, Maria, and stuff like that. Yes. And I will all see you very soon. Very soon. I will keep the volume up in the future. All right. Well, love to you all. And yes, I will speak to you soon. I will say ciao for now.